Dear participants, dear colleagues, the theme of my presentation is Design of Industry Centers of Cybersecurity of Objects of Critical Infrastructure. At present, the regulations of European countries define the concept of critical infrastructure in different ways, and the corresponding lists of industries and facilities that are of strategic importance for national security. There are no generally accepted requirements for building a critical infrastructure protection system and its integral component, information infrastructure. The term critical information infrastructure means a set of information systems, information and telecommunication networks, and automated control systems, including process control, that are physically or logically connected to global networks and are essentially part of cyberspace. The basic principle of ensuring the security of critical information infrastructure is a public-private partnership. At the same time, managers or owners of facilities, corporate networks, directly implement security, and the state provides them with all possible assistance. In the conditions of a higher cost and complexity of construction and application of the corresponding tools for control of a condition of information security, the application, use of methods of collective protection of branch corporate information systems is considered as the rational decision. At the same time, they provide for the prompt exchange of information on cyber attacks and recommendations for combating them. In this case, a comprehensive solution to ensure the cyber protection of such systems may be the construction of a sectoral cybersecurity center, which can be created in cooperation in the interests of regional and municipal authorities, ministries and departments, large companies and industry. It is advisable to rationally apply the methods of collective protection to ensure the cybersecurity of corporate networks of the class of industry information systems. In this case, managing the settings of the attacks detection system ADS analyzers, which protect the components of the network association, can be assigned to the Industry Center for Cybersecurity (ICCS), while the ADS and its elements of the C network association will take over operational management functions. One of the best ways to combine the networks of the industry association can be an architectural solution in the form of an integration information bus. Figure 1. Integration information bus is based on the ideas of using web services HTTP, XML, and its extensions SOAP, WHD. The information and software complex of ICCS is a complex software and hardware design that requires careful methodological, informational, and architectural elaboration. The structure of such a complex is presented on slide 4. Organizational and technical model of the branch center of cybersecurity management consists of two zones, Cyber Center and CyberNet, and the corresponding interaction between them. In our opinion, the functional components of ICCS for corporate network security management should include threat forecasting unit for the period T plus delta T, and the input information of which will be a database of the history of threats, which accumulates information from ADS analyzers of corporate networks with settings for the period T minus delta T, T. Determination of analyzer settings for the period T plus delta T. Determination of the style of the source of the attacks. Search for sources of attacks by similarity of style. Ranking of potential sources of attacks. Making decisions about the sources of attacks and conditions of uncertainty. The scheme of interaction of ICCS functional components that are directly involved in the management of computer network CN security is shown in the slide 5. Internet search, as well as the use of databases of national security centers, allows you to keep up to date such important databases as database of competitors, database of attack initiators, database of attack sources, as well as database of intermediate information, based on which you can build an information portrait of the source, his preferences for functioning, style of attacks of different types, etc. This greatly facilitates the process of finding sources of attacks in the conditions of sweeping the tracks and adjusting the network's information in the packets. The functions of a typical ICCS are shown in the slide 7 and include management of monitoring, detection and response, Office of Investigation and Prevention of New Generation Attacks, Technical and Legal Service Office, Learning Management. The main stages of creating a typical ICCS are presented schematically below in slide 8. Stage 1. Core SOC and basic sources of information. Stage 2. Integration of external platforms and additional sources. Stage 3. Auxiliary systems. Designing industry-leading cybersecurity centers for critical infrastructure in accordance with the proposed structure, functional components, hardware, and system software elements, and certain functions and stages of creation allow to increase the efficiency of ADS networks under jurisdiction. This justifies the need to create them. The presented results were used in the process of implementation of the international scientific project Cyber Rapid Analysis for Defense Awareness of Real-Time Situations (SURADAS) under the grant of NATO SPC. Thank you very much for your attention.